Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Let's see who is in the chat. This is like right here. There's something in my hair. I got a little fuzz in my hair. Welcome, everybody. Hold up, y'all. I was moving around the computer. Welcome. Hey, y'all, drop some hard sport. Sylvia, I'm forever indebted to you. I can't quit my YouTube job because Sylvia did the most. Shout out to Sylvia. And shout out to everybody that supports my channel. Of course, you guys are amazing. Thank you. I'm not using the new computer yet, but hopefully we'll get it going maybe later on today. Shout out to everybody. Shauna B, Blonde Bomb, Morris 17, Andrew, how are you? Wim, you're not. I'm late. Wim, are you? Am I late? Am I that late? I did push. Okay, how can I be late if I push back the time? Am I really late if I push back the time? Did I get here late on the time that I pushed back to? Listen, I'm present. I promise, y'all. But I got to get my caffeine fix. Otherwise, y'all won't see me like up and, cheery and stuff like that. Welcome. Dizzy Destiny, Pika, Blonde, Morris 17, Nebby, how are you? Shout out to everybody. Susan, how are you? Are you awake? Jay McCarthy, welcome. Everybody, welcome. Belen, how are you? Chico, wake up. Chico, shout out to Chico. Just Match. I saw the new laptop. How amazing. I know. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited. Trust me, you don't want a decaffeinated rabbit. It won't. I can't do it. Not decaffeinated. Thank you. I did. What's wrong with the title? What part? Tell me what part of the title. Let me know. I am so Vic, I'm telling you, it's about to be a game changer. Okay. Let me just say that. But I'm so excited. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Wim. And I have ADHD. You have autism and I have ADHD. We could work this out. Come on now. Shout out to you. We'll figure it out. I'm sure Dickie's like, it's gonna be okay. All right. Baby Bunny needs to write me a late note. I'm sorry, Pika. Where's the crown? Yo, she is still speaking of Baby Bunny. Baby Bunny is still doing the most with her birthday. She still says it's my birthday. I still want B-Roos balloons for those that didn't watch yesterday's streams. Instead of saying balloons, she says B-Roos. So we go to the store, B-Roos, Mom. I told you I got her a bunch of balloons, so she just loved that. I don't know. I think she's gonna remember this birthday for sure. I know. Shout out to my neurodivergent crew. Yes, everybody. Chris, how are you? Shout out to you. Itzel, yes, hit the like button. It is free. It doesn't hurt you. You said ain't nothing celebrating. Yeah, like nothing for the whole month. For her, it might be for like 6 months. She's still wearing her Halloween costume, right? From like last year. My middle child did that too. There was this one year where he was Batman. He must have been like 5 or 6. And it was the Batman with like the puffy little body buildup thing, right? He wore that for like a whole year. So I have pictures of him next to the Christmas tree with Batman outfit. I mean, he was Batman. He just does that. I don't know. It's like a thing. In my family, you get a birthday week and then you go to Baby Bunny. A birthday wheel or we? We get a birthday Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Rio, I haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're doing well. Shout out to you. Your son did the same thing. I swear sorry, now I'm cussing because they're not around. That costume stunk because babe, like he was just running all over it. It just stunk. I would wash it and it would still stink. It would. My son did that too to the Spider-Man costume for a whole year. Marissa, she just turned 3. Baby Bunny's officially 3. And I still have I did a live when I was going to be induced February 28th. I was going to be induced and I told everybody that I was pregnant and that I was being induced that day. That was the first pregnancy announcement, and I was going to be induced. I didn't tell anybody I was pregnant for like that whole time. Well, part of it is because I was getting trolled a lot, and the way these trolls were working, I mean, they be doing the most. Sometimes you just kind of have to keep things like that to yourself. That's how it is. Specifically those trolls, because they really they posted my address, my kids, all this kind of stuff. They went above and beyond over just when somebody doesn't like you, they'll do shit like that to you. And some of you, my day ones that are in here can attest to that. They know. So I was glad that I was able to keep that all to myself when it came to that. You said my middle girl was dressed like Wonder Woman for a year. Really? Wow. That's a lot. Hey, Kim, how are you? All right. Let's get it together because we definitely got some topics to talk about. Now, I guess we're going to start with Kevin Spacey. Did you guys watch? Was the Oscars? I guess the Oscars was yesterday. I don't know. I don't be watching these Oscars like that. First of all, I think it's stupid. Celebrities celebrating each other. I used to watch the Oscars. I used to really enjoy the Oscars when I was a lot younger, when I was into like movies and stuff. Sorry, I heard myself. I used to be like a big movie buff. It was like my thing. I loved it. I loved like talking about movies and stuff like that. And then I don't know, it's like it just realized how stupid it really was and how much money and time you give to this. And so I was like, well, let me just, get into exposing some of this crap, because some of these people are looked up to as like role models, and I don't know why. So Oscars announcer Nick Offerman warns winners to keep hugging short, whether consensual or with Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey has become like the butt of the jokes at this point, throwing shade at Kevin Spacey. There was a point in time where we talked a lot about Kevin Spacey here where Kevin Spacey was like untouchable. Okay. So now he's like kind of like people are quick to make jokes on him at the Oscars. They threw shade at Drake too. I didn't know that. Wow. So anything goes. So Nick pulled no punches during his introductory remarks at the Oscars. So apparently he was telling people it's important that I remind you that once they announce your name, get to the stage as quickly and safely as you can. Offerman said to all the nominees, the longer that you take sharing hugs, whether consensual or with Kevin Spacey, the less amount of time you'll have. I said, damn, just like that. Don't y'all remember when he won those Oscars? They turned on him. Mm-hmm. They did. I'm telling you. I mean, Kevin Spacey, I think, and many of these Hollywood people thought that they would have like a forever career and they would be protected and stuff like that. And clearly not. They turned. And the crazy part is that some of these people that are even calling him out or have called him out probably have skeletons of their own. They just don't want to get found out. Just how it is, right? That must have been awkward because he was how many Oscars has he won? Hold up, let me see. Kevin Spacey. Now let's detour real quick. Kevin Spacey Oscars. How many? How many Oscars? Did y'all know the number? I know he's won a couple. 2, actually. Only 2. I know American Beauty was one of them. So, yeah, 2 Oscars. And I think he's got some other nominations too, but he's won 2. You said he deserves that for what he just did with one of the victims publicly. I mean, literally, I cannot. That's what they do. They call other people out. You're too hide what they're doing 99% of the time. I don't even think he was invited. That's a great point. Like, I don't even think he was in attendance. So how did that joke get out? Unless, I mean, they put that out there. I'm not really sure. But that's a good point to make. Was he in attendance? I don't even think he was invited. I don't even think that like he goes to these things anymore to hide. I was like, am I misreading it? I know I wasn't misreading that, Kim. You said they call other people out to hide what they're doing 99% of the time. Typically, like they'll throw you under the bus before they get in trouble. And then later on, people found out that, you really are a scumbag along with everybody else. Yeah, I would say so. But for me, it's like you have the likes of Kim Kardashian going to the Oscars. I don't know why. Did she get nominated too for that Ray J video? And then there's all these other people that I'm like, why are y'all are invited? What y'all getting nominated? Like, best supporting actress in what? I don't think they're jokes if you ask me. I just want to know. Hey Wendy, how are you? Hey Kissamooch. I mean, I don't know. You said I'm boycotting all things Hollywood. I don't even know what to watch anymore besides YouTube. And even that's getting iffy. Kim, hey, you ain't never lie. I'm like, I don't get it. It's too much. Welcome, Heather. Shout out to you, new subscriber from Texas. Thank you. Thank you. You said, wait. Cheek said that video was directed by Kris Jenner. Did she get a nomination too? I cannot. I don't know why she was there. I don't get it at all. At all. Right, Vic. And that's a good point. Like the comedian is making fun of, like, I get it that they're making fun of like Kevin Spacey, but they do realize, like, does he realize that it's also at the expense of other people that have been coming out and have been exposing Kevin Spacey? Like, it wasn't just a hug that's being alleged, right? There's actual like stuff. Now, mind you, he's been found not guilty in the criminal court and in the civil courts, okay? But this would be at the expense of another person's trauma. You didn't watch the awards? I watched Maelstrom and stared at a man's 100. Oh my god! And I heard about that. There was like a man at a electrical tower or something like that. That's crazy. I heard about that too. You said even the documentary is questionable. I think I'm gonna stick to the series. It's a lot. Hey Joe, how are you? But anyways, moving on. So that's what's going on with Kevin Spacey. Now, Carolina Fire. By the way, shout out to my member in the Discord who gave me the heads up about this. I didn't even know this was going on, you guys. But apparently, Carolina Fires update. So there's been like these. They're calling them wildfires. I'm already side-eyeing fires. I've been side-eyeing who starts a fire and all this, like how these fires get started. I'm gonna be honest with you. Ever since the Maui fires, you just don't understand just the controversy of not only how the fire gets started, but how the hell do they even like figure about evacuating people? Who gets evacuated? How this happens? It's just way too much happening. So Carolina fires updates. Emergency declared in North and South Carolina as wildfires force evacuations. Do I have anybody from that area or at least that has family in that area? Let me know. But apparently there was like a forest fire, a community just west of tourist spot Myrtle Beach in South Carolina was 30% contained on Sunday evening. So I guess 30% would be good, right? But there's definitely, like, listen, you just got the Cali fires, okay? Now you got the Carolina fires. You said North Alabama is under a burn ban? Huh. That's interesting. That's interesting. So firefighters are battling huge blaze that began tearing down through North and South Carolina over the weekend, including an enormous fire under Myrtle Beach that doubled in the size overnight on Saturday. So 175 blazes were recorded in South Carolina over the weekend, covering 17 square kilometer. One blaze near the Carolina Forest, a community just west of the tourist spot in Horry County, stretched across 1,600 acres and 30% contained as of Sunday evening, according to the South Carolina Forestry Commission. So, I had no clue that this was going on, and I found out through Discord. That's how I found out. Hey, Oklahoma, how are you? We have extreme warnings in Texas this week. Interesting. I just think people just need to be careful, because these things, like, first of all, they're just starting out of nowhere. Some people say, well, it was an accident. I'm not believing these accidental fires anymore. I just feel like there's always something nefarious going on at this point when it comes to this. And then the way that they're containing them, how quickly, it just really depends. Interesting. Look, even Belen says, we're not even in wildfire season yet. I didn't think we were. Isn't that typically like in the summer to like spring to summer? Huh. Vic, did you know you said they were really slow in the coverage of this? I thought so too. I said, why did it take them forever? We're under a high fire danger all weekend and today as well. 35 miles per hour winds all day. That is interesting. So it's the governor, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster, declared a state of emergency to support all wildfire responses efforts across the state to ensure first responders continue to have resources they need. In North Carolina, a brush fire in the mountains threatened communities in the Blue Ridge Mountains about 40 miles south of Asheville. The fire has burned between 40 to 500 acres and was 0% contained as of Sunday afternoon. That is interesting. So, schools to return on Monday, evacuate residents allowed to return. Myrtle Beach fires grew 1,600 acres at its peak. And it was bad. Like, I was looking at these images and I couldn't imagine. I mean, look at, they have just people get on the plane and having water or at least something to contain the fire. Look at this. Wow, it's very lush. I mean, you got kids running, people moving away from the South Carolina crew to work to contain the fire. These look like kids. I mean, I could be wrong, but they look so young. Look at that. It literally got to the residents. Let me see if I can make myself smaller. Wow. I hadn't seen some of these pictures. So this was 57 minutes ago. U.S. Army used Black Hawks to dump gallons of water on the flames. Okay, hold up. Let's see if we can see this. Look at that, y'all. This is interesting. Wow. It just seems like it would be so difficult to stop this fire. Wow. I mean, they're doing what they have to do. So hopefully we'll get some more updates on this. But I'm kind of wondering like what started it, what they're saying. And I mean, the way that it grew, it's just so scary seeing some of the scenes. It was kind of like California, when what happened in California was so scary too. Seeing some of those scenes and everything that was happening is just too much. These winds are insane when it comes to these fires. Huh. I have to wonder. I don't know, 50 miles an hour winds tomorrow in Arkansas. Sudden gusts, uproar of 100 miles per hour till Wednesday. You said people need to stop throwing cigarettes out. Well, do we know what caused it? That's the question that I have. It's just a lot of questions. I don't know, y'all. So that is what's going on with that. So hopefully we'll get some more updates on that. Now, oh man, I'm trying to figure out which POS I want to talk about first. Because we have to move on. Which POS do I want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about Casey Anthony first, or do we want to talk about John Paul Miller and his disgusting ass? Which one? Who we talk about first? Put it in the chat. Because like I said, I'm like, man, these are two POSs, and I don't even know which one to start with. Which one should we start with? We don't know what caused it yet. JP, all right. Okay, Didi said JP. All right, the first 5 names. JP, okay, Casey. All right, we got a tie. I need the first 6 names. Casey. All right, Casey. Sorry, Didi. We will have to wait till JC because Casey takes the cake. I don't know. All right, let me tell you something that I do know. All right, I got to tell you guys something that I do know for a fact. Okay, and this is I noticed this. Oh yes, and I heard. Thank you. It's Juliana. 3.9 earthquake here in Burbank. There was this was last night. It didn't really hit the news right away. I think it was a lot of us might have been sleeping by then, but there was an earthquake in Cali too. Thank you for this. Thank you. There's that too. You're not familiar. We'll get to that. So let me tell you what is going on. About 7 months ago, I did a video because Casey Anthony is trying to go into different networks. She wants to do a reality TV show. And the networks have turned her down. Okay? Keep that in mind. So because the networks, they're not really feeling the plot line of Casey Anthony getting her life back together after what happened in the trial, after what happened to her child, after what, her parents have said, they're not, the networks weren't feeling this, right? They weren't feeling that this, woman would be able to have a successful reality TV show. Okay. Just so everybody's aware, this bullshit that she's coming back on TikTok to be some legal advocate is bullshit. Yeah. So I clocked this, I want to say 7 months ago. Hold up. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. All right. I'm going to pull that video because I have it. About 7 months ago, let's see, Casey Anthony. So I've done a couple of Casey Anthony videos. Yep. Literally March 6th was the video that I did on Casey Anthony. She wanted to do, hold up, y'all. I'll show it to you. This is why Casey Anthony is coming online, because she can't get her reality TV show going. Okay. This was almost a year ago. Gypsy Rose, Yolanda Saldivar, and now Casey Anthony. We got to get into this. There's so many people nowadays that want to become reality TV stars. You should ask Casey Anthony. According to the New York Post, Casey Anthony wants to become a reality TV star. Now, I know we've seen Gypsy Rose is doing it and whatnot, but Casey Anthony, the New York Post reports, monster mom Casey Anthony pitching reality show about her life, but TV execs are spooked. Casey Anthony wants to become a reality TV star, but most feel a reality check would be more appropriate. That was March 5th. Okay. So she can't cut it as a reality TV star. Now she's coming into social media. Okay. TV proposal submitted on behalf of the 37-year-old Florida monster mom promises an intimate window into the daily life of one of the most controversial women in America. So somebody on behalf of Casey Anthony submitted this proposal. They said, girl, I will submit this proposal for you. You could become the next reality TV star. Look, let me just say this. I think Casey Anthony could probably start up a YouTube channel, and I'm sure people are going to be talking about her. But a reality TV, I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe you guys feel like you would definitely tune into that. I personally don't think I would. But the show, which would be filmed in Florida, would be based around Anthony's day-to-day life, 13 years after being acquitted of killing her daughter, Kaylee. In each episode, Casey will go about her day, working, socializing, dating. She will share her thoughts and opinions, and will even give an intimate look into her world. This is what the proposal is claiming. Anthony would be working with a production company to produce the show and would be credited as the executive producer, as well as starring in it. Others would appear, including members of Casey's trusted inner circle, many of whom have never spoken out before. The show has been shopped around to multiple TV networks, but it is unclear if any will actually put the show on their schedule. See, that's... I did, Andrew. I talk slow. I don't know how y'all listen to me. You got to make sure that you're like at 2.5 when you listen to me, because I can't even listen to me talk sometimes. So I have to hurry it up. I wish we would quit turning. Well, and that's the thing, Joe. It's like, it's a good example of that, right? So girl couldn't cut it in reality TV show. She couldn't get a deal, in my opinion. And so this is why she's coming to social media, okay, to become a legal advocate. Isn't this something that, like, I don't know, Lifetime, or I'm just thinking of what other network, maybe Oxygen True Crime, because they've been doing all that shady shit when they did the whole thing with Selena and Yolanda Saldivar. Yeah, we talked about that already. Make sure you check out the list in the description box. But anyways, I digress. Let's get back to this. One of the executives actually commented and said, I think that's a losing bet. One network exec who seen the proposal tells the Post it would get a large audience initially. But what's really that interesting about her life? What is that interesting about Casey Anthony's life at this point? I mean, Peacock did do that little show right there where, they did the whole lie detector test. It was Peacock. And then the parents did the lie detector test. We talked about that. What is interesting about Casey Anthony's show at this point? Like, what would be interesting about her having a show? Just gonna talk about, use her daughter's image. Is that what she's going to do? Rewrite the narrative, which is what a lot of these people that have been released from prison have been doing. Gypsy Rose, everybody's rewriting narratives of some of the most infamous crimes. I'm just saying. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm going to put that out there. However, while the executives said their networks will pass, they added, I hope someone else has the balls to buy it, because I definitely want to watch it. Would you guys be watching Casey Anthony's show? Be real and put it in the comments. Don't be fake about it.
It's been more than 15 years since Anthony first entered the public consciousness after the disappearance of her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee, in 2008. During a nationwide manhunt for the little girl, Casey Anthony was arrested after police caught her in several lies. And there's been so many lies even after that. But
all right, I must stop right there. So just so you guys understand what is happening, she couldn't shop around her show. So what does she do? She says, I am going to go on TikTok, right? Which I guess, I mean, that's what you would do. Okay, let's go right here. And she's got 33,000 followers. Okay, so let's see what she's got to say.
We're sweat to death. Okay. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice.
Okay, wait. Hold up. I'm biting my tongue, okay? She is gonna speak in a professional capacity. She ain't gonna go nightclubbing. You know, that's not her jam. That's not the jam anymore, okay? That's not what she's doing, okay? All right?
Give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they
She's gonna
actually
give a voice to people.
Know where they can turn to. So with that, please join me on Substack. If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened. And it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters. One of the main reasons that I'm doing...
If she says she's a legal advocate, so I don't know how much legal matters she can give. I mean, I don't know. She's not a lawyer, right? Like that's she's just giving legal, like, people reaching out to her for legal advocacy, not legal advice.
Doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me
who's been targeted and attacked that are close to her? Who? Girl, if you have been in and out of the spotlight, I don't think anybody would give a shit if you just stayed out of the spotlight. Nobody cares. She's been photographed at Disneyland, okay? People are going to photograph her everywhere. If she decides to leave the country and move to a remote, I don't know, somewhere, change your name, nobody would give a shit because people don't really want to praise her because she did too much. She's the victim now. She is the victim of people attacking her and people that she knows. Who have been attacked? She was dating some guy and then she got photographed over there. So maybe change your name. I mean, if I was her, not that I want to project any of that, I would probably change my name. That's what I would do. I would change my name and figure something out. I mean, people can legally still find out who you are, even after you change your name. But I would probably, have her move over there with in Bali with Russell Simmons over there. They can go do yoga. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know.
Had some recent things occur, and when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important.
Wait. She's going to advocate. Wait. She says she's going to advocate for LGBT rights and women's rights. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for saying this. Chris Watts' mistress managed to disappear. I never heard from her anymore. I mean, they still. I think she even changed her name or something. I want Casey Anthony. I definitely want her to advocate for my rights as a woman. Oh, yes. And by the way, those are two different groups, right? The LGBT and the women's rights, sometimes they get along and sometimes they collide depending on what the issue may be, because all groups do. That's what we do as people, as humans. But you know what, me and you, if if Jeffrey Dahmer had a podcast, Jeffrey Dahmer, Casey Anthony, Jeffrey Dahmer. I know I'm being mean, y'all, but I think for me, this is going to be a mouthful if I say this, but I'm going to say I think my oldest and Kaylee are about the same age. She would have been turning 17 this year, I think, if I remember correctly. It's been a couple years. So I remember being a mom and seeing this child. It's either like somewhere along that time frame. Some of us might have been moms around that time. That was my first child, right? And so seeing her do all the shit that she did, and then bias. Okay, so then there was this lawsuit that came out later on. I did a bunch of videos on this where apparently she was also like trying to, pay her legal bill and doing what she had to do with bias to pay her legal bill. There's so much information about this. I suggest you guys even look at the civil cases regarding this whole situation and bias too. The attorney that became famous for defending her. Oh yeah. Yeah. Don't bring the LGBTQ community in this shit. She's trying to lure people. Well, she lured 33,000, that's for sure.
That I use this platform that was thrust upon me. And now look at
Kaylee would be 20. Yeah. So Kaylee was a little older than, Kaylee's older than my son. But I remember this trial and having had my son around that time and just thinking like, when I had my son, it was a very hard situation. Let me say that much, my oldest. And I just can't imagine, like I was in love, I was in love. I just can't imagine hurting your child. You know what I mean? To the point that you prioritize going out and being like about you. And I think maybe that's what is so hard. Same age. Okay. So my son is 20. Yeah. So I'm thinking it was around the trial around that time. So maybe this case really is disturbing to me. You said no one sees Netflix series, was in the UK. I lived in Orlando sometimes, so know the story well. Seriously, looked like her. What are you talking about, KB? Rabbit, can we at least admit we're to blame for this? Not us per se, but people into the reality TV and feed into this, which emboldens people like Casey to do this shit. Absolutely. You said father abused Casey and her daughter. Well, I don't believe that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't believe the bullshit story that she's put out there, and that's what she's put out there. I'm not believing it, KB. I don't care what Netflix said or anything. I've watched a lot of documentaries on this, and I remember just eating and breathing this trial at some point. But to me, it wasn't. Was it Hulu? It was Peacock that did the series where they did the lie detector test. I'm just not believing it. I'm not. They were trying to give her a voice and it just didn't work. The end of the day is that, in my opinion, she hurt her daughter. Okay, that's what I'm going to say about that. I don't believe it. Roxy, I don't. At all. I'm sorry. And I don't say that vocally about a lot of people, but for her specifically, especially with the switching up the story, I'm just not believing it. I'm not. But anyways, let me keep playing this.
A blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008. With that, these aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be edited. Most of the time, they're not going to be short. But I am...
Yes, so my oldest was born in 2008. This is why this story kind of gets to me, this case. Because that's around the time that all this happened. And I remember maybe that was around the time that I had already given birth. And so kind of watching all this unfold on TV is just too much.
Proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact. So you will get very comfortable with my car. And
Wait. She's standing in the light? What light?
I will explain in great detail why it's so important for people to protect their privacy. It's not just important to public figures, it's even more important to private individuals. And with the current climate in our country, especially, it's that much more important, which is why I am utilizing the Substack platform. Yes, I am advertising this and publishing this on TikTok, possibly also through other meta platforms, but my intention is to separate from that and showcase even more why Substack is such an important resource for people to utilize moving forward. Anyway, I appreciate your time, and we'll see how this goes.
Ay, Dios mío. So let's go to the Substack real quick. This is her Substack. Yeah, I'm sorry, KB. We gotta disagree. Here's the deal. In my opinion, I just think that that's a lie. I think it's a lie. I think that it was a form of defense. That's all it was, and they played that up. I don't believe it. And as far as the Freemason stuff, I don't know. I don't know about that, but Netflix isn't the one all be all of truth. So I have to kind of keep that in mind. Actually, a lot of the platforms, all YouTubers, you gotta have to like weigh all this in. Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, all these people. Okay. Yeah, don't be surprised if you see her covering true crime on YouTube. I could see that. Matter of fact, I did say that. I said, well, she might as well, if she can't get into reality TV show, people do get YouTube channels. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think she would be not that I'm cheering for her, please no, but I do think that people would follow her only for the hell of it. Like, people would probably subscribe just to see what the hell she's about. And then they would trash her. Then you'd have a whole community, a Casey Anthony community, kind of like how you have the whole Gypsy Rose community. And the Gypsy Rose community consistently exposes Gypsy Rose, who has tried to rewrite the narrative of the murder of her mother time and time again. So I'm just saying, I definitely feel like that would be an interesting situation. She should just do a YouTube channel. But anyways, she says, it has been more than 16 years since my name became a household one. Yeah, 16 years. My son is 16. Everyone seems to have an opinion about me and about my life. I'm an advocate, a researcher. Those are my words. This is my real life. Dun, dun, dun. So she writes, Lord have mercy, how much have she written here? 19 hours ago, the presumption of innocence is a sacred right afforded to all individuals arrested in this country. This is not an opinion. It is a fact. We are plagued by a rush to judgment before someone even steps foot into a courtroom. Let's see if it lets me read more. Once a verdict reads, however long the process takes, the public must trust that the system worked the way that it was intended. I don't need to trust that the system worked the way that it was intended. I don't. Once the verdict is read, however long the process takes, she says, the public must trust that the system worked the way it was intended. I don't subscribe. You are entitled to your opinions, not your own set of facts. You, as the general public, will never know the full facts of a case. The media will never tell you the full truth. They will tell you what you think and how you feel. Educate yourselves. Stop spreading hate. I think she's getting a lot of pushback. If tomorrow you woke up and were arrested, accused of a crime you didn't commit, or someone close to you were to be, wouldn't you want for them to be treated fairly and just? It's not that complicated. Yes and no. I get that part, but I don't know, man. And 2 days ago, she writes, we're living in a time when we're told by the political heads of the state we can say and do what we please. And the help of social media, people tend to act accordingly. Unfortunately, with the current political climate, we are coming to find out that this is simply a facade. Many of us knew this long ago, but more individuals are finding out the hard way. Free speech is not truly free. Why is she writing this, though? Her and Gypsy Rose should be friends. I think her and Gypsy Rose should have a reality TV show together. Somebody tell Gypsy that we found her best friend here. Her name is Casey Anthony. They would be. Just keep your kids away from this lady. That's all. I was a single mom at 18. This woman did what she did. She needs to get a damn clue. Kim's like, haha, no. Come on, Kim. Gypsy Rose, Casey Anthony, take LA. Oh my. Bingo. Oh my God. There you go. I just made a reality TV show. Gypsy Rose, Casey Anthony, take on Florida. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Right. Okay, Don, thank you. Make this make sense for me. I want to protect my privacy by posting all over social media platforms. Right. And then I want to be upset that y'all have an opinion. You said F that, the justice system. Casey Anthony was 16 years ago is a phase that could start with, I want to feel old like 60 years ago. Oh my God. Spring break vibes forever. There you go. Aya, vamos. How are you? I'm serious. See, that would be a pitchable reality TV show. Gypsy Rose, Casey Anthony, take down LA. There you go. Perfect. She's rebuilding her life. She's a legal advocate. She cares about human rights and women rights and LGBTQ. Gypsy Rose is, what the fuck does Gypsy Rose care about? I don't even know. Oh, I don't know what she cares about. Whatever. So put them together, and then there you go. That you already know that a lot of people would be watching that TV show. I thought about it first, okay? Oh my God, that would be a nightmare. Marissa's like, that would be a nightmare. Yes, you said, I would pay to see Gypsy and Casey locked in the room together, locked up. Gypsy and Casey locked up. There you go. I swear. You said you left the chat. Y'all remember, oh my God, this reminds me of the days. Let me detour real quick. You put them in a boxing match when you would be in chat rooms back in the day. I think it was like AOL, right? And when somebody would leave the chat room, it would say, so-and-so left. That's what that reminds me of. A boxing match? Oh, so... Oh my God. And then you add, no, not Carly Russell. Lord have mercy. I don't know, y'all. Anyways, let's keep talking about this. So she says, free speech is truly not free. Having the right to speak your piece does not give you a true privilege to say whether the fuck you want. Now, more than ever, your privacy and your words are not safe. Every single thing you say can be used against you, regardless of your intentions in the eye of the law do matter. So simply a reminder, what you say matters. The intention behind the things you say also matters. Okay, and what? All right, well, and these were the people that read 23 reads. How many likes? No, like, I guess I'm not signing up for this BS. But she's got 680 subscribers in her Substack. So let me know what you guys think. Do y'all support the BS? Let me know. Hit the like button. Did y'all hit the like button? Please and thank you. Thank you. You said, oh, I would absolutely watch. At least you're honest. You said, if you remember the ASL, I hope your back doesn't hurt. Sending prayers. ASL. I don't. What's the ASL? The ASL days? What's the ASL? You guys are going to have to tell me. I can't even remember. What about a show where she goes to spend life in prison? There you go. Hold up. See, Gypsy Rose and Casey Anthony on SNL skit. See, if you see an SNL skit next week with Gypsy Rose and Casey Anthony, SNL owes me money. You guys owe me money because I thought of that. Well, actually, Kim thought of that idea, but I brought that up. Gypsy Rose and Casey Anthony on an SNL skit. I'm down. I'm so down for that. Oh yes, the okay, ASL. Gotcha. I was like, what's that? Do y'all see how long it's been since I've been in a chat room? Like, what is? I can't even remember this. Yo, see, you know what this, Jennifer, that says that you've been in chat rooms, girl. Y'all been, Lexi, you've been in chat rooms. Brady, Becca, you guys are going in chat rooms. Look at this. I didn't even remember back in the, shout out to the AOL people. You guys were like the ones that were able to afford that monthly crazy ass bill from AOL. I don't know. The AOL chats was something else. You got mail. Didn't know we were doxing ourselves for predators. There you go. There you go. Okay, let's talk about another POS. We should call this POS Monday. POS Monday. What do you think Discord is? That's true, but I don't remember ever. I don't remember. Maybe it's been a while since I've been. Clearly, it's been years since I've been in an AOL chat room. Clearly, yeah. But Discord is kind of giving AOL vibes. Yeah, you're right, Vic. You're right. Let's talk about another POS. Y'all ready for this POS? I got the lawsuit, okay? And the lawsuit is not too long, at least the facts that they're alleging. All right, let's talk about this POS right over here that I cannot stand and I hate talking about. John Paul Miller, for those that don't know, all right, Jennifer Santana is like, I literally remember being on AOL chat rooms back in the day. Oh my God, the good old days. The good old days. The good old days when the startup internet, you could hear the startup. I swear, we'll never get that shit back. Ever, ever, ever. All right? That's right. Weekly series for you. POS Mondays and Fuck It Up Fridays. Y'all making me cuss too much. You're going to get me demonetized. Make sure you hit that like button, please, and thank you. Okay. So this guy right here, all right, who looks like crap, his name is John Paul Miller. All right. So South Carolina pastor John Paul Miller, whose estranged wife's authorities say die by suicide, although I object to that, last April is accused in a new lawsuit of Ring a 15-year-old girl decades ago. So an anonymous woman from Indiana alleges that Miller R'd her in 1998 when she was 15 and he was 19, working as a youth church leader, according to the complaint filed on February 25th. Let's look at that complaint. We got it. Here it is. Okay. So we're going to go to, I'm going to go to the alleged facts because I think that'll be just a little bit easier. But this is for those that are wondering, this is the lawsuit. If you need a copy of that, members, if you guys want a copy of that, I could drop it in the Discord for you guys to review. So the parties, she is a Jane Doe, so she's not identified. But I really want to go, she's a citizen of Indiana, to the actions. Hold up, y'all. See if we can get right to it, because it's like change of venue, charitable, yada, yada, yada. Hold up. I know, I think it's like page, when I saw it, separation of church and state, evolution. Hold up. Where'd it go? So I guess he was in a position, he was 19 and she was 15. Okay, here it is. So factual allegations supporting the cause. By 2023, JPM, which would be John Paul Miller, okay, had positioned himself as a high-ranking pastor of a large congregation, presenting himself as a spiritual leader while continuing to engage in predatory behavior. In 2023, plaintiff encountered JPM in person in Myrtle Beach while accompanied by a friend. Despite being in a public setting, JPM leaned into Jane Doe 1 as if to hug her and shoved his hand down her pants, touching her area without consent. All right, here we go to some of these details. Wim just gifted, oh my God, Wim, thank you. Gifted 10 memberships. If you've been blessed by Wim, put some hearts in the chat. Thank you, Wim. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, that was so sweet of you. Thank you, Wim. You watched, Priya says, last night I watched the Law and Crime Network on this. That's interesting. This guy is so sick. I just can't with this guy. And then watching him in interviews, I don't know. But anyways, despite being in a public setting, this is what he did. Plaintiff immediately recoiled and tried to brush it off and moved his hands because she didn't think her friend noticed and she was scared. About 30 minutes later, Jane Doe 1 and JPM had a heated argument about him using his title of a pastor and use of scripture to justify sexual misconduct. In a response, JPM cited scripture telling plaintiff, "No man is without sin and temptation. God understands that." I hate it when people like that, pastors, priests, these kinds of people misuse the Bible to hurt people. Like you guys, that's my biggest thing. I cannot, because I've seen this way too much. I'm gonna be honest with you. And then somehow shift the blame and blame you for doing it. Plaintiff was left reeling from the encounter, experiencing a long delay spiral of self-doubt and depression caused by this fresh assault on her own by JPM. This sexual assault by JPM triggered repressed memories of plaintiff of things which occurred at an earlier time. Upon later reflection and trying to remember previous events, the plaintiff realized that JPM had assaulted her almost 20 years ago. Jane Doe was sexually assaulted at the age of 15 in 1998. Had to reread that, y'all. At that time, she did not fully comprehend the nature of what happened to her or to the extent of the harm it caused. The trauma was deeply buried, and for decades, she had no conscious recollection of the assault. The plaintiff lost memory before she turned 18, likely within a few months or years of the occurrence in 1998. It was not until she experienced another sexual assault in 2023 by JPM that the suppressed memories of 1998 incident resurfaced. So she was violated twice, in 1998 and in 2023. And it was through that violation in 2023 that it reminded her of 1998. And I've heard of this happening a lot, actually, where somebody might have been violated by a person, right? Like a victim's violated by a person, but because of the repressed memories, they don't actually like remember until later on in life. Something to that effect. So, and it reads, through therapy and reflection following the most recent assault, Jane Doe came to understand the profound impact of the earlier abuse, as well as its connection to the psychological and emotional struggles that she had endured throughout her life. After her memories were triggered by the second assault, the plaintiff remembered details of 1998 sexual assault. In June 1998, plaintiff Jane Doe 1, a 15-year-old minor, attended All Nations Church, formerly known as the Cathedral Baptist Church of the Grand Strand, Inc. Plaintiff spent her summers in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, residing with their grandparents, who were members of the cathedral. Plaintiff's time in Myrtle Beach was supposed to be a period of safety, love, and warmth. Her grandparents were her support system. And the summer she spent with them were among the happiest times of childhood. JPM was 19 years old. JPM was a 19-year-old male employed at the cathedral as a youth leader and musician at the cathedral in 1998. At the time of the event in question, JP was known to his father's head pastor, church leader, and members as a troubled individual with a history of reckless behavior, including prior legal troubles, a child born out of wedlock, and a pattern of misconduct. Oh my God. They said he was born out of wedlock. Well, wow. Yes, faith corrupts a lot of people. Hi, Eric. How are you? Chico, thank you for being a member for 26 months. Hit that like button. Don't be a hater, y'all, for life. It's bad for your health. Thank you, Chico. Thank you for supporting my channel for like 2+ years. Thank you, Chico. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys so much. So let's keep going. And a pattern of misconduct. Despite this knowledge, church leader, despite defendant Reginald Wade Miller, who was JP's father and head pastor of All Nations, failed to take reasonable steps to monitor JP's behavior and continued to allow him unrestricted access to minor children at a church in the sanctuary, his father's office, or in the church's program, including the youth program. So the church knew. I mean, shit, I would be suing this church too, guys. I really, really would. Oh my God, Belen, thank you so much for the $50. Happy belated birthday to Baby Bunny. Buy her some French fries and a new costume and some donuts. Thank you so much, Belen. That is so sweet of you. Thank you so much for this, wonderful super chat. I love you, Belen. Thank you. Church knew, which tends to be the thing, right? Like the church tends to know when things like this are going. And this is why it doesn't matter. Like what I've seen now by my experience, right? Like people are getting better about reporting protocols, not the cult, right? The cult needs to do better, Scientology specifically. But think this is a good example of, a church not reporting, being mandated reporters because the father is clergy, just like what we talked about when I interviewed Serge the other day. Okay. These are examples of a cult not reporting and having to report, if that makes sense. They didn't do it. They failed. And they allowed other people to be victims and be victimized. Can you imagine how many other more victims there might be out there of JP Miller after what happened with Mica Miller? Mica Miller documented everything, okay? And even her death was ruled a suicide when I don't know, we feel that that's not, doesn't make sense, right? They failed Mica. They failed that community. This is why he gets protested every once in a while outside of the church. It's like, you're a pastor. What are you doing? It is just mind-blowing how people get away with this shit. But let's keep going. So the father, what's his name? Reginald Wayne Miller, RWM, had personally engaged in sexual misconduct before 1998. So the father's also, the apple. What do they say? The apple doesn't fall short from the tree. Isn't that the saying? Let me know what y'all say in there. I think that's what the saying is. So the father, Reginald Wade Miller, failed to take reasonable steps to monitor his son's behavior, to report it at the very least. Reginald had personally engaged in sexual misconduct before 1998. There's that. He knew his son was engaging in sexual misconduct. It runs in the family. This was a the provisional fox guarding the hen house. It's interesting. Reginald did not institute any type of safeguard over the dangers posed by JP himself. Reginald had complete control of the church by virtue of the bylaws, which left him in complete control of the church without any oversight by anyone else. Though he was in control, there were other leaders of the church who could have intervened to protect minors at that church. They did not. So there's probably a lot more JP victims out there, allegedly, in my opinion, based on this lawsuit. And reading lawsuits is just reading lawsuits, okay? But now I got a lot of questions about this. How many more JP victims do we have out there, allegedly, I'd like to know, that have not been reported? When you don't report, you're culpable. You might as well. You've committed a crime. When you don't report, you've committed a crime. They did not. They ceded complete control of RWM, who allowed his son, JP, to have free reign over the church and minors of the church. This church, JP I can't even read this because it's making me mad. This church was JP's sexual playground. Leadership at the church, including Reginald, should have undertaken something to protect the minors at the church from JP and other predators, including Reginald. So one predator protecting the other predator, watching out, making sure that they don't get reported. They did not. On or about July 19, 1998, Sunday morning, plaintiff attended the cathedral, formerly known as All Nations Church, with its grandparents and her grandmother, who preceded her to Sunday school class held in a separate classroom building, the Academy building, on a church property. Plaintiff initially intended to attend Sunday school with her grandmother, but changed her mind and instead went to church building where she intended on going to her grandfather's Sunday school class. The classes had begun and the doors were shut. Jane Doe, one, wasn't aware which room he was in, so instead of interrupting the class, she entered the main church sanctuary. JP was playing the piano and another band member was strumming a guitar. Upon noticing plaintiff, JP engaged her in conversation. At some point, plaintiff stepped away from the sanctuary and walked down the hall to the restroom. When plaintiff exited the restroom, she encountered JP standing near his father's office door. JP called out plaintiff's name and initiated a seemingly innocent conversation inquiring about mutual friends' recent absence from the church. Without warning, JP forced plaintiff inside his father's office, shutting down the door behind him. JP immediately became aggressive, physically overpowering plaintiff and forcing her against the wall. Despite plaintiff's struggle and verbal pleas for him to stop, JP ignored her and forcibly moved her out of the office down the hallway to a door that led outside to a grassy side of the church where JP's truck was parked. JP then forced Jane Doe into the truck, and that is where he arred her. At the first time of the assault, plaintiff was a virgin. Plaintiff was terrified, physically overpowered, and left powerless against JP's assault. JP, an adult man in position of authority, because even though he was 19, regardless, I know y'all, because there are people that say, well, he was also a child too. No. Okay? 19, position of power in a church. I don't want to hear it. Save your comments, because I know people that have the replay game after this, you guys will say that to me. And I have to tell you, no, I don't want to hear it. JP, an adult male in position of authority within the church, took advantage of plaintiff's youth, inexperience, and vulnerability to commit this heinous act. Following the assault, plaintiff remained silent about what occurred with JP and was overcome by shock and shame and fear. In the following months, plaintiff exhibited clear signs of trauma, including severe depression, social withdrawals, and family and friends, declining academic performance, emotional distress, and self-doubt. So, despite prior concerns about JP's behavior, church leader, including Reginald Wade Miller, failed to take any action to investigate and prevent further abuse. Well, if he's also doing the behavior, he's not going to, and it's his son. He's not going to investigate it. Shortly after being assaulted by JP in 2023, plaintiff received a text message informing her that JP's wife had died. The cause of death was reported as a gunshot wound to the head under suspicious circumstances. Within hours of her death, JP delivered a sermon using manipulative rhetoric to maintain control over his congregation despite the tragic and questionable circumstances surrounding his wife's passing. This was yet another example of JP's convincing and manipulative behavior. Plaintiff suffered immense guilt after JP's wife, believing that had she spoken out sooner, she might have prevented further harm to others. Oh my God. This guilt and shame experienced by Jane Doe for not reporting the second assault at the time of the occurrence of the first assault after her memories came flooding back was another insult to plaintiff's emotional psyche. JP's history of predatory behavior, his continued acts of harassment, assault, and plaintiff's failure to protect children and prevent JP's unfettered access to minors, children have caused plaintiff severe and lasting harm. Ooh. So I'm going to stop right there. But this is the lawsuit. And I'm going to do a separate video probably on this. Oh my God. Whew. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Well, that's a POS along with the other POS. That's, survivor's guilt. Katie, I think that's what it is. That's what they do. But that would be a POS. Sorry, y'all. That was heavy. Whew. Let me take a drink. I hate that I have to, this is not the way we want to conclude anything, but I did make you guys vote. I mean, we could have probably ended with Casey Anthony, but I asked you guys where you guys wanted to kind of vote at. It's like, I just personally, I'm pretty sure that there's probably more out there that haven't spoken out. If he's done this to this alleged person, and also like, keep in mind, Micah Miller was what, like a teen when they got married. So he had her in a very interesting position of coercive power control. Like that, my friends, is a situation that was horrible, and it was documented. And she was a minor too, so there's that too. Made her out to be crazy, in my opinion, and then she dies, and that was like that whole situation. And that sermon, like like I can't get that sermon off my head too. It's too much. Brady Becca, thank you so much for telling everybody to hit that like button. Period. There you go. Yep. Pure evil. Absolutely. So imagine, but that is what trauma is. Sometimes it's like, it'll come back to you later on. This is why when I say, I have said this to you guys before, when people question victims, why are you coming out now? Why now? Why not now? Like, go ahead, report what you have to report. I mean, why wait? I get that, but also, you don't know what repressed trauma they have. You don't know, like, these are important things, right? And so people take their time to come out. And sometimes it falls within the legal deadlines, that the laws are set up where people are to come out and then they can get justice or civil, whatever, criminal or civil, right? That's what they can do. I mean, but I don't ever question. You can come out whenever you want. You can come out now. You can come out 10 years from now. However, you have to be mentally ready, because it literally, you just don't know when, people are going to call into question certain things. But to me, it makes me wonder, if he did this to her, imagine how many other in the congregation there might be. Exactly. And the trauma thank you for saying this, like in an organizational group or influential, that is influence in the family, can be much harder to admit what happened to you, because you'll blow up everybody's world. Exactly. I've seen this happen, right? Like, in a church, especially like if it's like a family-led congregation type of thing. Yeah. Like, you're blowing up that whole situation. So that does happen. Exactly. It is never too late to speak your truth if somebody hurt you. Thank you, Jennifer. I agree. All right, guys. So shout out to everybody. Y'all are amazing. Let me shout out some folks. Thank you. Belen, again, thank you so much. Aya Vamos has been a member for 5 months. Thank you, love. I didn't see this. Shout out to you. Thank you for being a member for 5 months. 5 meses. Shout out to you. Belen, thank you again. Chico, 26 months. Shout out to my mod, my supporter, Chico. Thank you. Hit the like button. Thank you. Wim gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, Wim. And thank you guys so much. I gotta head out. Y'all are amazing. Stay amazing, and I'll see you guys later. Hopefully later tonight. Just depends. I'll see you guys later. Bye.